Lights are on.
Hi everyone! Welcome back to Cheston's World, where the adventure never ends and diversity is celebrated every step of the way. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that my voice sometimes changes. It can go up and down and in and out sometimes. Don't worry, it's not your listening device. It's definitely me. But don't you worry, the show must go on. I'm so excited that you are tuning in today. I'm your host, Cheston Brown, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on today's podcast called Cheston's Medical Adventures, preparing for a medical appointment with my provider. As a self-published young author and someone who's been diagnosed with autism since childhood, I understand the unique challenges that medical appointments can present. You see, I've had a complicated medical journey, and some days are a little rougher than others. But fear not. Through my own experiences, I've gained valuable insights and learned effective strategies that have not only helped me manage my anxiety, but also improve my communication and planning skills. In this podcast, I want to talk about managing my severe anxiety in medical appointments and when speaking to my providers. I have the most amazing medical team, but I always say that my magical mind, which is my imagination, can make up scenarios that seem larger and scarier than what's actually going to happen. Let's face it, I even get nervous before creating each podcast. But guess what? When I start recording and start chatting away on this podcast, something amazing happens. I get to share my thoughts, my stories, and my adventures with all of you wonderful listeners out there. And let me tell you, it makes my heart do a happy dance knowing that there are friends like you taking the time to listen and getting to know me. Well, it fills me with so much joy and excitement. In today's episode, I'm excited to dive into some strategies that have been game changers for me, and I'm hopeful they'll be just as helpful for you. So whether you're gearing up for a routine checkup or facing a more challenging appointment, stick around because we've got you covered. I have worked very hard at navigating medical appointments, and if I am honest, I am still working on being confident when going into any medical appointment. I am in no way offering medical advice, but just sharing how I get through some of my most stressful times. Let's start with a topic close to my heart: managing anxiety. Anxiety can make medical appointments feel overwhelming, but trust me, you're not alone. I have found that preparing ahead of time can really make a difference. From creating a checklist of things to bring to practicing relaxation techniques, there are plenty of strategies to help calm those nerves. Let's also talk about communication. As someone on the autism spectrum, I understand the importance of clear and effective communication. And one tip that's been invaluable for me is writing down any questions or concerns I have before the appointment. This not only helps me to remember everything I want to discuss, but also helps to ensure that I don't feel rushed or overwhelmed during the appointment. For some, using your communication device to communicate your questions and concerns can be helpful as well. And speaking of planning skills, did you know that preparing for medical appointments can actually help improve your planning abilities? It's true. By breaking down the steps involved in getting ready for an appointment and creating a routine, you can strengthen your planning skills while also reducing stress. Let's dive right in. Medical appointments can be nerve-wracking for anyone. But for kids like us who might have autism or anxiety, they can feel especially overwhelming. I know that I do. But that's okay because it happens more than you know. Just keep practicing and remember to do whatever works best for you. For some, it takes a little practice, and for some, it takes a lot more practice to get a handle on the best routine that makes you feel comfortable. Let's get into some tips that have worked for me and some that I am still practicing. Preparing for your medical visit. First things first, let's get organized. Before heading to your medical appointment, it's important to be prepared. Most doctors' offices and hospitals like for you to have all your necessary documents like insurance cards and medical history handy. This part is more for whoever will be taking you to your appointment, so this part you don't really have to worry about. But when I have some questions or concerns that I would like to know about, I try writing them down because this can help me to remember everything that I want to talk about with my provider. And hey, it's okay to bring a favorite toy or comfort item along for support. My provider always take a moment to ask about my comfort item. This really helps to break the ice in my appointments as well. Now, let me just take a moment to be honest here. Even though what I just said sounds simple, my magical mind is already off and running. Picture this. You have a medical appointment coming up, maybe just a routine checkup. But instead of focusing on the facts, my mind starts to wander. Suddenly, I am imagining all sorts of worst-case scenarios. What if the doctor finds something wrong? What if the procedure is painful? What if I need to be admitted into the hospital? Or if the doctor suggests surgery as an option? What if I need more lab work? What if I can't handle it? You see where I am going with this? Even though I have prepared, I still get pretty scared before appointments. I may ask my mother 1,000 questions before we get to the appointment, and sometimes I have trouble calming down even after I get to the appointment. This is why I have to practice each and every time. Eventually, it will get easier. They understand. It's okay to feel nervous about speaking up during an appointment. But remember, being honest about how you're feeling or any medical issues you're experiencing is crucial for getting the help you need. Even if you're feeling scared or anxious, remember your providers are here to help you. And the more they know about how you're feeling, the better they can support you. Remember, there's no such thing as a silly question or concern. All of your questions and concerns are very important to your provider. Discover available resources. Did you know there are lots of resources out there to support kids like us during medical appointments? From visual schedules and social stories to sensory tools and relaxation techniques, there's something for everyone. Some providers have access to wonderful people like child life specialists that are trained professionals who can help kids like us understand concerns like medical procedures, illness, and treatment information that may sound scary to us, and they can offer different methods of play that help reduce anxiety for children as well. The best thing about child life specialists is that they are there to support the entire family. Don't be afraid to ask your provider about what's available to help you during your visits. Building a strong relationship. I have found that building a strong relationship with my healthcare provider has made all the difference. It doesn't take away all of my fears, but it definitely helps. It's okay to want to understand what's happening with your health. Whether you're curious about a treatment plan or you just want to know what that weird machine does, let your provider know. Your provider is there to help you understand. Let them know what helps you during appointments, whether it's taking breaks, using specific communication techniques, or having a trusted family member or friend by your side. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Maybe you have a favorite way to calm down when you're nervous, or you prefer a certain type of bandage. Let your provider know. They want to make your experience as comfortable as possible, so don't be shy about sharing what works best for you. For some, building a positive relationship with your provider takes time, but it's worth it. When you feel supported and understood, it can make facing medical appointments a whole lot easier. Remember, your provider is on your team. Now let's address the elephant in the room, anxiety. As someone who experiences severe anxiety myself, I know firsthand how overwhelming medical appointments can be. But guess what? You're not alone, and there are plenty of strategies to help make them less stressful. I am no expert, and to be honest, I worry about all of my medical appointments until I arrive in the doctor's office or medical procedure. But here are some of the things that have really helped me. Talk about the appointment beforehand. It's totally normal to feel nervous or anxious about medical appointments, especially if you're not sure what to expect. And that's why I have found it really helpful to have a conversation about the appointment before the big day. Whether you're talking to a parent, caregiver, or a trusted friend, sharing your thoughts and feelings can help ease some of those pre-appointment jitters. You might want to discuss what the appointment is for, what you can expect during the visit, and any questions or concerns you have. Sometimes for me, talking about the appointment beforehand helps me feel more prepared and less anxious. It gives me a chance to ask questions and get the information I need to feel more comfortable. And remember, it's okay to express how you're feeling. If you're feeling scared or worried, don't be afraid to say so. Talking about your feelings can help you feel supported and understood. Create a comfort plan. I know firsthand how overwhelming medical appointments can be, especially when you're dealing with anxiety. That's why it's so important to work with your provider to create a comfort plan tailored to your specific needs. For me, one of the biggest challenges is dealing with the sensory overload in the waiting room. The noise, the people, and the TV can all be really overwhelming. But thanks to my amazing provider and their medical team, we've come up with a comfort plan to help me cope. For example, if I check in for my appointment and I am feeling anxious or overwhelmed, I have the option to wait in a quiet room until my provider is ready to see me. This simple accommodation makes a world of difference for me and helps me feel more comfortable and calm during my appointments. Creating a comfort plan is all about identifying your triggers and finding ways to minimize them. Whether it's adjusting the lighting, providing noise-canceling headphones, or offering a quiet space to wait, there are plenty of strategies that can help make medical appointments less stressful. If you're struggling with anxiety or sensory issues like me, don't be afraid to speak up and ask for support. Your provider is there to help you feel comfortable and safe, and together you can create a comfort plan that works for you. By the way, comfort plan is a term that I made up to help me to remember that there is a plan in place to help me to be comfortable when I am feeling afraid. Celebrate small victories. Medical appointments can be challenging, but I've learned that it's important to acknowledge and celebrate the little wins along the way. Whether it's making it through a waiting room without feeling too anxious, or asking a question during the appointment, every small victory deserves recognition. Remember, celebrating small victories isn't just about patting yourself on the back. It's about building confidence and resilience. Each time you face a medical appointment, you're building your skills and learning new ways to cope with challenges. How can you celebrate small victories? It could be as simple as giving yourself a high five, treating yourself to something you enjoy after the appointment, or sharing your success with a trusted friend or family member. Whatever feels right for you, take a moment to acknowledge your progress and give yourself credit for your efforts. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. So celebrate those small victories and keep moving forward with confidence. I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. That's all for today's episode. Whether you're gearing up for a routine checkup or facing a more challenging medical appointment, remember that you have the power to advocate for yourself, ask for support, and make your voice heard. You are brave, you are resilient, and you are never alone. Now for my upcoming episode. In my next episode of Cheston's World, I'll be sharing a special treat with you all. I've written a children's book called You Can Do It, We'll Help You Through It, and I can't wait to read it to you. This heartwarming story is all about facing challenges with courage and the power of support. Whether it's a scary medical appointment or any other obstacle life throws your way, this book reminds us that we're never alone. With the help of friends, family, and tools to face your fears, we can overcome anything. So be sure to tune in to our next episode for a reading of You Can Do It, We'll Help You Through It. It's a story filled with hope, inspiration, and the belief that together we can conquer anything life throws our way. Remember, here at Cheston's World, everyone is expected and accepted just the way they are. And always remember that you are great just the way that you are. Our journey doesn't end here. Tune in next time to see what Cheston's World is up to next. We'll have more stories, more fun, and more adventures waiting for you. Until next time, keep smiling, keep dreaming, and keep spreading love wherever you go. Goodbye for now from your host, Cheston. I'll see you next time on Cheston's World. So long and take care.